I'm just going to quickly show you the session outcomes. So today we want you to be informed about current issues and statistics on alcohol and drugs, highlight 3 risks and lifelong consequences of partaking in drugs and alcohol, and to know where you can get information and help, so contact websites.
So yeah, a lot of people think drugs and alcohol are a bit of fun and it's all about having a good time, but there's also a really sinister reality to some risks and outcomes of overdoing it with alcohol and drugs. So 5,507 there was 5,507 alcoholic-specific deaths in 2016, and there's 337,000 hospital admissions in 2016. Which just kind of reveals the reality of it when it can get out of hand. And also it's really important to know your limits. I think this shows kind of how you can understand where you need to stop, and this can reduce risks. So yeah.
Alcohol can have toxic effects. Regular drinking can increase your risk of developing heart and liver disease. It can cause cancer, even stroke. It's what you can't see that can cause the most damage. To reduce your risk of long-term harm, health experts recommend no more than 2 standard drinks on any day. Alcohol. Think again.
Was that Australia?
Alcohol can have a lot of effects, such as it can slow down your brain functions, which means you can lose your sense of balance. It can irritate the stomach, which can lead to vomiting, and sometimes that can cause you to choke on your vomit if you're unconscious. It can affect the nerves that control your breathing and heartbeat, and can stop both. It can dehydrate you, which can lead to permanent brain damage. And it can also lead to different types of cancer, such as bowel cancer, breast cancer, liver cancer, and mouth cancer. It has a lot of side effects, such as confusion, vomiting, seizures, and low body temperature. Drugs, the 3 different types of drugs, stimulants, depressants, and hallucinogens, have different effects. Stimulants make you feel alert, lots of energy, confidence, but it can have pressure on your heart, which can lead to heart failure. Examples of stimulants are cocaine and ecstasy. Depressants can make you feel relaxed and chilled out, but can slow down your heart rate. These include alcohol and cannabis. And hallucinogens can make you view reality in a distorted way. And examples of that is LSD and magic mushrooms.
We just have 2 short clips to show you of cannabis and LSD, like the most commonly used drugs.
Cannabis is the most widely used illegal substance in the world. One of the main reasons for this is that it's relatively easy to produce. It's made from the plant Cannabis sativa. It's from the different types of plant and different parts of the plant that various forms of cannabis come. These include hashish or hash, which is cannabis resin, marijuana, sometimes called herb or weed, and skunk, which is a modified, often stronger form of herbal cannabis. So, what does cannabis do to your body? Cannabis receptors are widespread in the brain. Cannabis stimulates these receptors to produce a feeling of relaxation and altered perceptions. This is known as getting high or being stoned. Your body chills out through the effect of the chemicals in cannabis attaching to the cannabis receptors in your brain. THC, the active chemical in cannabis, triggers this reaction at unnaturally intense levels. This stays in your brain longer than your body's natural chemicals, making you experience a sedated high, slowing you down for quite some time. Taking it, especially a lot of it, can make you anxious, panicky, and suspicious. For friendly, confidential drugs advice, talk to Frank. ecstasy, MDMA, was originally developed in the early part of the 20th century, but became more widely available as a drug from the 1960s onwards. Most of the chemicals needed to produce ecstasy are obtained illegally, but that's not why it's bad for you. Ecstasy causes the release of the chemical serotonin in the brain. Serotonin affects your mood and perceptions. Scientists believe that ecstasy use may deplete your normal serotonin levels. Ecstasy also has added effects through the release of dopamine, the brain's natural reward chemical, and through other nerve transmitters. It overstimulates your brain cells, and this can give you intense pleasure. But the stimulation can cause your heart rate and temperature to rise. This could make you collapse, especially if you're dehydrated from alcohol and dancing. As with all drugs, you can never guarantee the effects they'll have on you. But with ecstasy, you can also feel groggy and tired for a few days afterwards. This is commonly known as a come down. For friendly, confidential drugs advice.
These are some true stories about people who have taken drugs. So one person took MDMA for the first time. For 2 nights they were on it fairly heavy, and they described feeling amazing, and they enjoyed getting close to new people. However, when they got home from a festival and they were on their own, they described feeling low and in a general depression. They felt that life wasn't worth living. They had met a girl who was in a relationship, and every time they thought about them, they felt down. They weren't themselves in general, and they were unable to rationalise, and this was on top of being about to start A-levels. Eventually the depressed mood did lift, and they wished they'd never taken drugs. Another person, it was their 15th birthday, and they were a victim of peer pressure. Their best friend told them to take drugs, and they did it in front of the girl's little sister. A quote that this person said was, "Trust yourself before you trust them." Now there's a video about a girl who took drugs and she died, and this is her parents speaking about how they felt and signs that they saw.
She had a smile that would light up her room. She had a passion for basketball. Then she picked up golf, and she was a natural with that. She really enjoyed the game.
The one thing that caught us truly off guard going towards the end is we didn't realize how badly she felt about herself. Look at the pictures. Why would we think she had a self-esteem problem? But the fact of the matter is that was one of the major engines that drove her to areas where she really didn't need to go, didn't have to go.
My spoons started to disappear. And I'm not talking, 1 or 2. It'd be like, okay, I have like 3 spoons left.
And I remember I had $150-some in my wallet. I had, when I went to pay that, I had $75. And of course she started crying. And yes, yes, I took her credit card. Yes, I used it.
And I remember going to court the next day and beautiful Marin, and then bringing her in, shackles on her ankles, in these prison uniform. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how did we get here? What? I was just numb.
She needed the money to pay some people back, and she needed the money to trade the gas for the heroin.
If you would have asked us what do you know about heroin? I would have said a street drug, a junkie's drug. You know, not something that you hear about on TV. It's not something that you would find in a community like Pickerington or any suburb. I mean, every day was that we have to keep her alive, we have to save her. If she said she was going to a meeting, I would follow ahead of time and sit in the parking lot and see her walk in, because I could breathe again, because she showed up. We got one more day. She's sober, one more.
Addiction is repeated involvement with a particular substance or activity, and another definition is not having control over doing, taking or using something to the point where it could become harmful towards yourself and others. Some of the signs are difference in weight and appearance, changes in personality as the person may start to become aggressive, and they might start to become involved in criminal activity, and some drugs may lead to the person getting confused and anxious all the time.
So yeah, it is there is a lot of doom and gloom about it, but there's also a positive. There's positives you can take out of it, and that's just looking after your well-being and try something new. So this could be keeping fit. So there's some examples there: doing sports or going for a walk or a run. And it's important to keep your mind and body active. And alcohol releases endorphins, and exercise does that same thing. So if you're kind of wanting that buzz feeling, you may find that in doing exercise, and obviously it helps your body be healthy. And then mindfulness, it's important to have good thoughts and feelings about yourself, and that might be taking time to do something you enjoy, or just reflecting on your day, and calming down, or taking a bit of you time as opposed to going out and just trying to forget everything. And I think all of this is about balance. So, you know, if you have drugs and alcohol, it's like obviously not illegal ones, but if you have alcohol, it's like balance. So it's just not overdoing it. And then it's also having a focus, or having a purpose. Your life has purpose, so it's doing what you enjoy, building a good network of people around you, and having good friendship. So you don't have to always go to drugs and alcohol for your happiness. And yeah, love yourself and be aware of just having fun. And yeah, it's good to place like your health and mental health in importance, and it's just as important as physical health. And it's also always important for you to be able to speak to someone if you feel like drugs and alcohol is your only way of escaping. If you feel like that's the only thing that will bring you that high, or that is really an issue. And there are so many people that would want to help you out, whether that's your family member or the doctors, and there's so many things you can do as an alternative way of feeling that high.
You should go to the doctors and make an appointment if you are continuously using drugs or alcohol despite the harm it causes you and towards other people. But getting over addiction can take time, but there's loads of treatment and rehabs to help each individual. There are also organisations that run helplines and local support groups.
Here we have listed some contacts, so if you're worried about yourself or others, Frank is a really good one, as they give advice and support for individuals, and you can call them on their helpline or live chat room. Samaritans is another good one if you just want to talk about your feelings in an unjudgmental environment. They offer quite good help if you're dealing with mental health. And a very important one for Drinkline, Al-Anon, which is if your family or member or friend is suffering from addiction, and websites that we think are quite important that can give you additional information are NSH Choices, AdFam and Drink Chat. And what treatment involves, this all depends on what you're struggling with. However, you will be allocated a key key worker to talk you through the steps used for the treatment. These may include therapy, treatment with medication, detoxification and self-help.
So at the end of our presentation, when we do it next year to the group of people, we're going to have like a fun activity using this question cube. So how it works is each of the different faces of the square have like different things we'd ask them. So this one we'd share a fact with them. This one they have to tell us something that alcohol and drugs does to your health. This one's something you've learned, it's true or false, where you can get help, what you could do to try something new, and I think that's about it. So should we demonstrate how it would go?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it with us? Just like, yeah? Okay, so someone would take the cube and I'd pass it around or allocate someone to throw it, and then whatever it lands on. Okay, so they would ask the group, what does alcohol and drugs do to your health?
It can make you feel depressed.
Yep.
It's
Great.
frustrated.
Yeah. You just go around the mic. And then a fact. So, yeah, if you become overdoing alcohol, it can cause withdrawals if you don't have it, and these withdrawals can mean you experience anxiety, have high blood pressure, and even delirium. So yeah, we kind of go around the room, and that's how it kind of works with the question cube.
We just end it with, do you have any questions or any way we can improve upon our sessions? Thank you.
Thank you.